Hello, welcome to Modern Scuba's YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at a set of personal gear. Right now this is my personal gear. It's about 25 years oldish, give or take a little. It has been dived recently. I dove it last month for training because we needed extra BC. So on this set of gear, this is an old ProSub DCV with an old ProSub 400 first stage. New on here though is my Guardian full face mask. Then CommandAir octopus. So this is an old Sherwood instrument cluster. This is an old Sherwood Console. I had this because I had a computer in here that died. It was very old. Company's no longer around. So I still have the console. ProSub gauge, generic depth gauge, compass. Up here, this is kind of special on this BC, or from ProSub. It's a power inflate deflate valve. You have your normal manual valve here. You can hold that up, hit it, dump your air. You use the pink to put air into the BC. And then white actually opens this valve up here on top and allows you to descend straight down. Now with this, we did a lot of teaching in these BCs, and it was easier to watch students dive if you just reached up, grabbed your deflate, and just went down vertically. I know that's not the common good thing to do anymore. Everybody wants to be horizontal, but that's the way it was good back then. This is just an ancient strobe, very good for night diving. Topped with an ancient piston first stage. Very good setup. I've done this for years. I love this setup. I do have a backup set. Again, piston first stage, CommandAir second stage, Avalon and Octopus, regular set of console, and low pressure inflator. This is what I dive personally. I know that it's also not cool to have the bright green. That's very 90s, but when I go to a dive spot, I know my gear. I can see my gear. I know where my gear is. I know which gear is mine. A couple of things I want to point out about dive gear. Make sure your stuff's tied off. Your octopus needs to have some type of retainer. I like these. It's right here. So whenever I need an octopus, bring my hand straight down, grab, pull. I can either give or I can take it. On the other side, I like my console to be clipped up here to the shoulder strap. So if I need it, just run down the shoulder strap so I get to the clip, and then I can follow it down. This one is kind of loose, so I can tune it depending on what kind of diving I'm doing. If I need to stay in close, it runs down lower. If I'm going to be using the compass, I've got a little bit more length so I can reach out, shoot my azimuth. A lot of my new divers, they aren't tying their gear off. This is simple. It's a zip tie and it's a clip. Tie it off to here, D-ring here, should be a D-ring here. Plenty of options to tie it off. Same thing with octopus, tie it off somewhere. I've got a guy that I dive with, he has a lanyard around his neck, he keeps it around his neck. I think the idea is if he needs to dump his Guardian, he just goes right to that. It's tied off to something. You don't want all of your hoses dangling loose. Really, of mine, those go under the arm. These go over. This is nice and tight. This is nice and tight. I don't have a bunch of hoses drifting. There you go, that's my personal gear. So this is a little bit more modern gear. It's definitely a few years newer than my personal gear. This is more along the lines of a technical diving set. It's not really that technical, but it's a lot more like it. So again, we'll start off with the Guardian full face mask, the octopus secured with an octo keeper. Both of those tied off to my shoulder strap right now. Low pressure inflator, dive alert, and my console. My console is kept on a much shorter leash because of the type of diving we do with this set. I don't really want this to be floating out, especially jumping in the water. It's a nice easy tuck it right here. It's always pretty close by. It's a little more difficult to use the compass this close because I can't quite get out to shoot a good azimuth. And then the backup set of regulators for just mass diving. Again, all Scuba Pro. And that's my technical diving set. Thank you for watching, and I'm sure there'll be more.